What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. I'm like in a little bit of a mood today, and not because Casey lost. I really had hopes for Casey. I really did. I really thought that they were gonna win. I thought they were gonna take it, but I am happy that the Eagles won. Obviously, I'm happy that they won. I love to see their whole lineup of their wives were like black athletes with black wives, and I just love to see it. I'm not saying anything against interracial relationships, nothing against it, but it's great to see like men who have made it in the industry to actually like bring along black women with them. So that was great to see. So congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. That was from the little bit that I saw, because I was knocked out yesterday. And let's talk about Kendrick's freaking halftime show. That halftime show, he did that. Like, he definitely did that. But I'm just like in a little bit of a mood today. I'm just trying not to be. But, and then also the fact that Valentine's Day is coming up. I feel like maybe that has something to do with it. Like, all the posts. But, no, truthfully and honestly, I do love seeing people in love. I do love seeing people being pampered and loved on. I feel like it's supposed to happen just every day. I don't feel like it has to happen for one specific day, but because it's just a man-made holiday that we came up with. Because if you really learn the story behind Valentine's Day and who Valentine was, it's like, ooh, no. But, you know, we have tried to turn it and make it into something about loving and caring on not just your woman, but men need a nice little gift for Valentine's Day too. So ladies, if you got a man and you haven't bought him a gift yet, go buy him something small, something cute, or hell, something grand if you got it. You could show love to your man too. You ain't just gotta have him show love to you. But yeah, so maybe that's why. I don't really know. I'm just like in a ugh. So if you guys tuned in last Thursday, I had a live which went pretty well. A lot of people tuned in. It was on my personal live. I'm trying to get everybody to get on this podcast live instead, but you know, I'm working it out. I'm trying to like gravitate everyone over and pull everyone to the other side. But nonetheless, it was on my personal one. So if you don't follow me on my personal, it's _sincerely Shelly, but Shelly is CHLLY_. We had a whole topic, and today's conversation topic basically is about old school love and how it doesn't exist anymore, and how there are not so many, but there are a few people like myself, like some coworkers and friends that I have, who still believe in old school love and would love to have traditional love, if we're really being honest, and having the dating pool be what the dating pool is now, knowing that it's very hard to find, and that when you do find it, try not to sabotage it. But really going based off of the video is up actually too. So if you guys haven't seen the live, it is posted on my personal IG, so you can just go back and listen to what we were having a conversation with. It all had something to do with old school love. We did go into little subtopics, but in all, it all had something to do with old school love and how it doesn't exist, and how trying to come to a compromise as women and men, how we can get back to that, because a lot of our great grandparents have passed on, and a lot of them are not around to tell us how they stuck it out, the ones who were married for so long. So it's kind of like this generation is trying to navigate through social media, through their feelings, through what they want, through what they don't want, and putting it into play when it comes to dating. And I know even like for myself, like I'm telling you, when you date, for those of you who aren't dating or just not or haven't thought about it, I really do believe in dating them all. I really do believe in just date as many people as you can. It sounds weird. It sounds crazy, but trust me when I tell you, date them all. Date the one who date all the ones that like you, first of all, not the ones who just want to, just drop your drawers, ladies. You want to date the ones who really have intention of possibly taking it further with you, the ones who actually set up a date. Don't go for the guy who just talks a lot of shit and doesn't back it up. Like if all he keeps saying is I want to take you out, I want to take you out, and you just say okay, and you give him the schedule and you tell him when you're free and he doesn't do anything, drop him like a bad fucking habit. Like, no, we're not doing this. Clearly you can't keep your promise and your word, so why would I continue even trying to entertain you? And I had to do that. Like, I literally had to tell someone, like, why do you keep asking me the same thing over and over again, and then you do nothing behind it? Like, what's the point? And then all he kept saying was, no, but I really do want to take you out. You clearly don't. Clearly, all you want me to be the one to come up with the date, come up with the idea of what we're supposed to do, but you're the one asking me. So why am I coming up with ideas and suggestions of what to do if you're asking me on a date? Like, make it make sense. Like, again, going back to old school love, it's like, from what I've heard from like other podcasts that I've listened to where they had older couples, like, I mean, they've been married for like 50, 60, 70 years, and they've even said like they approached them. They went to their house, they knocked on their door, and they said, hey, can I take you out on a date? And even if they didn't have a car at the time, they still made it happen to where they took them to, I don't know, a little bar or restaurant or even a picnic outside if it was a nice day, and they came up with something to show interest and continued to do that as they went on in dating the person that they liked. And I'm not saying you're going to do that for every single one, gentlemen, of the girls that you're dating, but the ones who you really have intentions with, make it make sense. Like, put your foot forward. Stop talking about it and do it. And if you're not in the situation or the space to date right now, then stay out of it. Don't even go looking for it. Don't even bother anyone's, just don't waste anybody's time. Don't bother anybody. If it's not for you right now, it's understandable. It's okay. You're trying to get your shit together. You're trying to get your life in order. But if you feel like you're at a place where you're ready for it, be prepared to show up and show out. Like, to me, old school love is like a man coming to get you. And I know some men will sit here and talk about, like, I really wish one of them could come on right now and actually be on this episode. But again, go on my page and you'll hear some of the comments and some of the things that they said, because a lot of it was just like, and it's the pointing the finger thing that I feel like a lot of men do today as to why old school love doesn't last or isn't something that even happens anymore, because it's a lot of the pointing the finger. You as a woman need to and again, I understand to some extent some women make it hard for men to actually want to date them because of how they act and what they do and how they carry themselves, but you can't put that on every single woman. Just like how you like to sit here and tell us, oh, don't let the new man suffer for what the old man did. Understood. Got it. And you're absolutely right. But make sure you live up to that when it comes to you dating the woman who you're interested in or someone who you're finding attractive. Don't let her have to suffer for what the last one didn't do or what she was incapable of doing or comprehending. Like, stop putting your foot in your mouth. Like, seriously. Stop putting your foot in your mouth. But I don't know. I just feel like it's not as hard as we are making it. it can be way easier. I did post something, I think like 2 days ago, where it said social media killed romance. And it was a shirt on a guy and it said social media killed romance. And it did. Because everyone kind of wants the same thing. Everyone wants to be either hard, like, put on this tough guy, tough girl kind of cape. And it's like, but deep down, you're really soft. Deep down, this is what you really want. Deep down, this is like who you really are as a person. Yet, you don't even like to acknowledge that. Like, you don't want to open up and just be this romantic lover boy, lover girl. Like, I guarantee you there are so many more lover boys and lover girls out there that are so covered up right now, or like just so, like, just keeping to themselves because they just don't want to be exposed or have, like, they've been hurt so many times, if basically what I'm saying, and they just don't want anyone else to like expose them or ruin it for the one person that they're trying to be with. And I understand that, but I feel like we need that to be exposed. Like, I feel like even as me being a lover girl, I'm a lover girl, and as much as I try to just be so like whatever, I'm still like on this side, like, oh my god, that was so sweet. Like, I need someone to do that for me. Like, I'm literally just like that. So I do feel as though the lover boys and lover girls, we have to just keep showing love. And I know it's hard to do. I know it's hard for us to show that old school love, because if you're being honest, the lover girls and the lover boys, we are like the new old school, if that makes sense. Like, we're showing that old school love. We're showing it and we're giving it out and we're dishing it out. The problem is we're dishing it out to the wrong people. And then this is where, and I said this on Thursday, this is where the issues come, because if people who really weren't serious about relationships would just say that, if people who just really wanted to just mess around and just see what happens would just say that from the beginning when they're talking to someone, it would save everybody emotional damage and emotional trauma if people were just honest with where they stand when it comes to wanting a relationship. Because if you're not ready for love, right? If you're not ready to commit, if you're not ready to sit here and say, you know what, I want to make one person my girl, or I want to make one person my man. If you're not ready for that, and you meet someone who is ready for that, that helps them to get away from you, one, and then also to just control their emotions, because if they're starting to have feelings for you, they know, like, okay, hold on, I know where I stand when it comes to us, but because you addressed and you told me you're not ready for the real commitment, you're not ready to be loved on, you're not ready for any of this, so let me back up. Let me not put too much emphasis on this relationship, seeing as you don't want that. If people would just keep it extremely real and stop being fake and stop doing shit for social media and stop making it seem like you need validation from social media. It's so, I really do feel like social media has ruined romance, but I also feel like that's the reason why old school love, again, doesn't exist. Because no one really wants to do what old school love entailed. Like, we even had one of the subjects was about old school love, like traditional. That's what it was, traditional marriages and traditional households. So Brittany, shout out to Brittany, she was on the live and she said, well, what is old school love? Like, what is your definition of old school love? And I don't think anybody really mentioned it. It was the first part before I got kicked off of live. I don't know why. I don't know why Instagram does that, where it kicks you off after a certain time. I thought you could be on it for as long as you want it, but nonetheless, when I was asking, or we were talking about just traditional love, I feel like traditional love, people just keep forgetting that tradition was because our probably great grandparents, I guess it was more so like they didn't really have a choice, because remember, women weren't able to work, and I said this to them on the live. Women weren't allowed to work, so our jobs were to take care of the home, to take care of the children, cook and clean, and just maintain the house. And that was our job at home, while the men went outside and they worked and they brought in the money. Traditionally, when you're talking about you want a traditional woman, that is what comes with being a traditional husband. You can't sit here and say you want a traditional woman and then also have her working a 9 to 5. To me, it doesn't add up. To me, it doesn't make sense, because then she's burnt out. Imagine your woman having to do exactly what your mother did. And this is why some, not all, some moms, like how they raise their kids, are so hardcore on their kids, or so burnt out, or can't do much of anything because they had to be the mom and dad, the cook, the clean, I said the cook, the chef, the cleaner, the person to do the laundry. They had to do everything at once, and they had nobody else to sit here and do it for them or with them to help them. And then also clock in and do her 9 to 5. Like, I don't understand when men say, again, things like this, wanting a traditional wife, but then can't be a traditional husband, but then get upset when she's burnt out. Well, I mean, you try to do it, you're going to be burnt out. And it's not a matter of competition of who can do it and who can. And look, even after I do it, I still have time. That's not what we're saying here. Because the woman could do it as well. She can work, cook, clean, and yeah, she can find some time. She can muster up some energy. But at the end of the day, when men say that they want traditional, make sure you're a traditional husband first before you talk about wanting a traditional wife. Because if you want her to stay home and clean the house, make sure everything is clean every day, your laundry is folded and it's done, the kids are taken care of, they're dropped off, picked up from school, everything is situated, your dinner is ready for when you get home, and then she can give you some after you get out the shower, and y'all have y'all alone time, or she spends some type of quality time with you after you was just outside clocking the clock and bringing in the money. Be okay with that. Because from what I've seen and also what I heard, because I'm not a mom and I'm not a wife yet, clock it, it's a lot of work to just be a stay-at-home mom. Like, you even heard women like on TikTok and even on Instagram, you've heard some women who are just like so realistic about their shit, and they just tell you like, this is how it is. It is tiring. They wake up at this time, get the kids ready, feed them, get them off to school, come back, have to do this, have to do that. And in the midst of all of it, they still got to take their own shower. They still got to wash their own hair. They still got to do something for them, to then having to pick the kids right back up from school and continue with homework and everything else that they have to do. And then have dinner ready for you when you get home. Make sure the house isn't looking too out of order. And then still be able to cuddle up and give you the love and affection. It's still a lot of work. So just because you think that, she's not outside putting in the work on her feet, she's not constantly moving around on her feet in the house. You get what I'm saying? So I do feel like a lot of men miss that point when they talk about they want a woman who is so traditional. You can't want that and then not be that. You get what I'm saying? You can't sit here and say that it's like you saying like, I want a 6-pack, but you don't even step foot into the fucking gym. So how is that going to work? I want to lose weight, but yet you're eating shakes and burgers every other day. Like, it doesn't add up. You have to, 1 and 1 has to equal 2, not 3. That is just, I don't know, but that was my take on it. Another thing I think that we're also missing when it comes to like old school love and wanting that is realizing that I think patience and communication is also something that has fallen and that a lot of people just don't do anymore. Like they don't have patience for people changing. They don't have patience for people just evolving for because if you're really thinking about it, the person who you started dating back in 2020, let's just say, is not the same person 5 years later. They're going to change, they're going to evolve, they're going to want new things for themselves, and they should. You shouldn't want a person who is still in the same headspace or still thinks or does the same thing that they were doing 5 years ago. They should have like some type of plan, like, okay, I see myself, moving like this, or you know what, hun, I'm thinking about doing that, or I'm actually thinking about going to school, or possibly changing my career, or I want to start doing this, I want to work on my fitness, I want to, whatever it is, I want to go to therapy, I want to do something. I think the patience and the evolving has left relationships now too, because you're expecting this same person who you fell in love with to still remain, and when they don't, you go looking for that same person in someone else. Like the person who you like, whatever your girl was or whatever whoever your man was when y'all first started. Very spicy, very, probably had that spark or probably looked a certain way. 5 years later, things change. And I'm not saying everything has to change drastically, but because I still think that, you still have to keep your significant other attracted to you and still have that little spice or that little, whatever that was that attracted them to you, you still have to keep that there. But I do feel like the mindset more so and what they probably want out of life will definitely change. And I feel like people don't allow their partner to evolve. They don't allow them to look for themselves and see a different version of them. And then also you being accepting to you changing and you wanting to have and want more for yourself as well, that works out for you and your family or you and your partner if you guys don't have kids yet. Even if you guys aren't married yet and then you're on your way there. But just becoming a better person and changing and sticking it out. Instead of just running to the next person. Instead of just running to the next available thing. Because again, that's why I feel like social media is a good and yet a bad thing. Because everybody's trying to look for the next best thing. Instead of just sticking with what they have. As long as you're not violated, as long as you still feel wanted, as long as you're, still loved on and catered to, there are things that can be fixed. I was saying that to my coworker today, and I was telling him that, there was nothing wrong with where you were. You just were being greedy. And he looked at me and he was like, I said, yeah. There was nothing wrong with it. There are some things that probably could have been worked out, but clearly there's something still there. There's something that's keeping you around because, you guys are evolving as a unit. And there's something there about her that you still are attracted to. There's still something there that makes you want to keep going back. But outside of sex and outside of probably how she looks, it's just something else that's there that's keeping you around. And some men will be superficial and talk about, nah, it's just the sex. It's just this. The sex could probably just be amazing. You sound immature. Please, grow up. Like, not everybody thinks the same way as you do, you damn hound. Like, some men actually have, like, a feeling that they don't know how to express. That they keep hidden and they don't know how to say it or articulate it to their partner. So when I said that to him, I was just like, look, take time and work it out. Have a conversation. Talk to someone if that's the case. But if it really wasn't anything where your life was put in danger, her life was put in danger. If it wasn't anything that you couldn't come back from, and he said it wasn't, I was like, so then fix it, talk it out, and have a meeting of the minds, come to a conclusion, come to an understanding that, hey, you want this, I want that, so how do we get in the middle, and how do we have what we want within each other to last, and how are we going to make this work? It's that easy to communicate. It really doesn't take that much, honestly. So, in conclusion, can old school love exist in 2025? Yes, it can. But everyone has to get off the mindset of wanting something right now, wanting something fast, wanting everything to be checked off, from like how many fucking eyelashes she has on her eye to he needs to have a crisp, clean hairline. Maybe you need to date a bald guy. I don't know. Or maybe it's the guy with the braids that you need to date. I don't know. But maybe it may not be the person who you normally date that's going to give you that old school love. You have to look at people internally. The outside, I'm saying, don't get me wrong, it can't be a ug mug. I get it. I understand. You have to be attracted to who you're with. I get it. But if they are, and I mean, I think mostly this is for women, because women, we do this a lot. And sometimes we just like, oh, but he's not this, and then he's not that. And me and my friends do it too. Like, we really do it, and it's terrible. Like, I had to catch myself like, shit. This is what the men really be saying, where men will wife and actually take a woman serious who's like a solid 7. Like, she may not be a 10, but she's a 7, and they're going to wife the 7 before they wife the 10. Ladies, we need to start taking that advice. Be with the 7, even if he's a 6.5, and he can work your way up to a 7. But even if you have a 10 and he treats you right, then you hit jackpot. I love that for you. But if he's not, and he's a 7, a solid 7, a good 8, whatever the case is, right? And he's a lover boy, and he gives you what you want, and he checks off those boxes, that could be your old school love. The new school love is just like, yeah, we're just fucking around, and we'll see what happens. And it's like, huh? Like, oh, I'm just enjoying myself. You can enjoy yourself playing fucking video games. What do you mean you're just enjoying yourself? Like, you're wasting your body, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Like, let's be for real. Everything is too damn expensive to be on some, oh, I'm just enjoying myself. Oh, so you got bank. Okay. You got time to do all of that. Like, as we have seen in the last couple of days, in the last month, tomorrow is not promised. We don't know what could happen at any given time. So you gotta love on who loves you, and you gotta walk away from who doesn't. And that even goes with dating. Whoever's not giving you no type of affection, whoever's ghosting you, whoever's being disrespectful, whoever can't communicate, whoever can't if you can't hold an intellectual conversation with this person, move on about your business. And I really wish that like I can get like I had like an old school couple, like a great grandparent around to like ask that question, like, how did you and granddad stay together for so long? Like, what did y'all do? And I feel like it can happen. I don't feel like it's completely dead, because then I'll say that it doesn't include me, because I'm very much so old school. I like to do some new school shit. Obviously, I'm not but I'm talking about like the love that I give off. It's old school. And I know a lot of other men who are the same way, and I know a lot of other women who are the same way too. But it's just hard for us to find the men and women who do the same thing that we do. And I actually saw a meme that said that my love language isn't any of the five love languages. It's, what is it? It's reciprocating, needing to have the same type of love that I give. I need it back, and that is my love language. And I really do feel that way. Like, that's my love language. If you can't give me what I give out, then I just can't be bothered. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. But nonetheless, I want you guys to have a great Valentine's Day. It is on Friday. Please wear a condom because we don't need any more Scorpios. I love you, Scorpios. I love you guys. But y'all are nuts. But enjoy your Valentine's Day. Again, ladies, it's not just about us. It's about the men too. So get your man something sweet for Valentine's Day as well. Gentlemen, do your big one for your lady or the person who you're interested in, who you want to take serious. Do your big one. And it's All-Star Weekend too, right? I think, because that's normally, I don't know who came up with that shit, but it's All-Star Weekend as well, I believe. So enjoy that for all my basketball players. And again, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles on an amazing win. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm taking my own advice to leave my feelings into today and don't bring that shit into tomorrow. I love you guys for listening. Later.